Hey Fools, Austin Smith here, and as part of our Ask a Fool video series, I'm going to be responding to users' questions pulled from Facebook and Twitter. Up today we have one from Jessica Densmore who asks, I'm interested in Procter & Gamble, AT&T, and Pfizer. Are these stocks worth holding on to anymore? Well, first off, Jessica, thank you very much for the question. We appreciate you asking it. Now, taking a look at these stocks today, I see some striking similarities here, right? They're all big dividend payers, all located on the Dow Jones Industrials Average. They pay 3%, 4.9%, and 3.3% dividends respectively. And although they're from very different industries, they're actually very similar on a fundamental level. As I said, they're all Dow dividend payers. In fact, AT&T is the Dow's biggest dividend payer. They all yield north of 3%. They're all about $200 billion companies trading at 20 times earnings, and all have pretty strong balance sheets, and they're all regarded as very high quality blue chip companies. So a lot of similarities there, even though they're across different industries. But before I can actually answer your question, I have to ask one of you, and that's, what's your investing purpose? If you're looking for some steady income, some safety, so and you want the type of stocks that you don't have to babysit, maybe you're older or you're further along in your investing career, you could definitely do worse than these three stocks. They're great companies. You don't have to worry about them on a quarter-to-quarter basis. You can kind of set and forget, although you never really want to do that in the fullest extent. But if you're maybe a younger investor looking for a little bit more aggressive growth, you kind of want to beat the market by a bit more than just a half or a quarter% every year, well, keep in mind that it's going to be really hard to grow from $200 billion, which is where all of these companies sit, especially if you're trading at 20 times earnings. They're all richly priced, and of course they're great companies, which is why they command a premium valuation, but it's going to be hard to grow from here. So before I can answer your question, you have to answer that one. If you're looking for some income, you're looking for some stability, these are great companies to hold. If you're looking for something a little bit more, maybe time to part ways. Taking it to the individual company level, what I see here is I see Procter & Gamble most recently putting up 2% volume growth and pushing into emerging markets. Now, personally, I'd like to see more aggressive volume growth than that. Now, their earnings growth is growing at an outsized rate, but a lot of that is coming from internal price cutting, which isn't really my favorite way for a company to grow of this scale. Instead, I own Unilever over Procter & Gamble. Similar valuation and a similar dividend, but a little bit more organic growth and a better emerging market presence, in my opinion. Now, with regards to Pfizer, this is not my area of expertise, but we have a phenomenal healthcare team that can provide you with more in-depth analysis of this company. But what I see is a company that has a huge moat, huge return on invested capital, a very strong pipeline of phase 1 and phase 2 drugs, and a lot of cash, basically the biggest company in this space, and has an enormous moat around them, and one of the reasons that I am a shareholder today. Now, lastly, moving on to AT&T, not my favorite company individually. They have a, they're in a nice duopoly with Verizon. You get a really nice income check from them every quarter. But if you want exposure to this space, I actually really like a company like Apple instead. Apple, in many instances, is holding AT&T and Verizon over a barrel with all the subsidies for their iPhones, and they're a significantly cheaper company that has significantly more growth opportunities than AT&T. So AT&T's got a great dividend, but I don't really see the best growth opportunities out there, and they're definitely going to be limited by their duopoly structure. Remember, the T-Mobile acquisition deal got struck down recently on concerns over monopoly, so there's not a lot of organic growth left there, at least not as far as I can see. So that's my opinion on these three companies today. I think they're all great stocks, but I own Unilever over Procter & Gamble. I'm a happy Pfizer shareholder, and I'm not really a fan of AT&T and Verizon today, although I admit that they certainly serve a purpose if you are looking for income in your portfolio. If you're looking for more analysis on any of these companies, make sure to head back to Fool.com. Thanks for tuning in, and Fool on.